The pocket camera market is suddenly becoming one of the most competitive spaces in tech, and honestly, nobody expected it to happen this fast. For years, DJI completely dominated the category. If you wanted a tiny stabilized camera for travel, vlogging, or cinematic content, the answer was simple. Buy a pocket camera and move on. But now, that comfortable position is starting to look unstable. Because the rumored Insta360 LUNA Ultra doesn't feel like another copycat device trying to imitate DJI. It feels like a direct challenge to the entire category. The moment you see the LUNA Ultra, it already looks different. Instead of following the same design language everyone else uses, Insta360 appears to be pushing a futuristic modular approach. The body looks compact and premium, almost like a miniature cinema camera built for creators who want portability without sacrificing flexibility. But the biggest attention-grabbing feature is easily the detachable display system. And honestly, this changes everything. The idea of removing the screen and using it wirelessly as a remote monitor sounds incredibly useful for real-world creators. Suddenly, you can place the camera far away, monitor framing remotely, record yourself more naturally, and shoot without standing directly behind the camera. That's not just a cool gimmick. That's an actual workflow improvement. And this is where the pressure on DJI starts becoming very real. Because once you move beyond the design, the rumored specs sound almost absurd for something small enough to fit in a pocket. Leaks suggest a large 1-inch main sensor paired with a secondary telephoto system. That alone separates it from most pocket cameras, which usually rely heavily on a single lens setup. Insta360 seems to be aiming for something closer to a hybrid cinema experience instead of just another travel camera. Reports also mention like-attuned optics, wider apertures, optical zoom capabilities, and advanced stabilization that combines mechanical gimbal movement with Insta360's flow-state stabilization system. If those leaks are accurate, the LUNA Ultra may end up delivering footage that feels far more cinematic than people expect from a pocket device. And honestly, stabilization might become one of its strongest advantages. Early footage already suggests walking shots look smooth, horizon control remains stable, and motion feels surprisingly natural. That matters because creators today care less about owning huge camera rigs and more about getting cinematic shots quickly. Convenience is becoming just as important as image quality. Then there's the video performance. The LUNA Ultra is rumored to support 8K recording alongside high frame rate 4K slow motion modes, potentially reaching 240 frames per second. Now realistically, most creators are not shooting everything in 8K. But the extra resolution creates flexibility. You can crop, stabilize further, reframe vertically for TikTok or Instagram Reels, and still maintain sharp quality. That's extremely important today because modern creators are no longer producing content for just one platform. A single camera now has to work for YouTube, Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, and commercial projects at the same time. Low-light performance is another reason people are paying attention. A larger sensor typically means cleaner shadows, improved dynamic range, and more natural depth separation. Leaks suggest the LUNA Ultra could support around 14 stops of dynamic range with 10-bit log recording. For casual users, that may sound technical. But filmmakers immediately understand why it matters. More dynamic range means more flexibility during editing and color grading. The footage starts looking less like standard creator content and more like something from a compact cinema setup. But then comes the difficult part: the rumored price. Current leaks suggest pricing somewhere between roughly $750 and nearly $950, depending on the bundle configuration. And honestly, that completely changes the conversation. At that level, creators stop comparing it only to DJI Pocket cameras. Suddenly, people start comparing it to mirrorless cameras, Sony APS-C systems, and even entry-level cinema rigs. That creates serious pressure on Insta360 because expectations become much higher once you cross that price range. At the same time, DJI is not sitting quietly either. The DJI Pocket 4 Pro is becoming one of the most talked about creator cameras because DJI appears to be focusing heavily on cinematic image quality. Rumors surrounding the Pocket 4 Pro mention massive improvements in dynamic range, advanced D-Log profiles, and professional-grade color flexibility. Some creators are even comparing its footage potential to larger cinema cameras like the Sony FX3 or Canon cinema systems. And honestly, that sounds crazy for a pocket camera. But it also shows how much this category is evolving. For years, pocket cameras were treated like casual content tools. Good for travel videos, quick vlogs, and lightweight shooting. But now, companies are trying to turn them into legitimate filmmaking systems. Tiny cameras capable of producing cinematic footage without requiring massive rigs, external gimbals, or complicated setups. That shift could completely change the creator industry. Because a lot of filmmakers are honestly getting tired of carrying large camera systems everywhere. Sometimes creators simply want something small, fast, and reliable that can still produce professional-looking footage instantly. Pull it out of your pocket, start recording, stabilize automatically, capture high-quality audio, and move on. That level of convenience matters more than ever. And maybe that's why the LUNA Ultra feels so important right now. Not because it shoots 8K. Not because of Leica branding. Not even because of the modular design alone. It matters because for the first time in years, DJI finally looks like it has real competition in the pocket camera market. Creators are starting to hesitate before choosing the obvious option. And honestly, that's exactly what makes this entire battle so exciting.